finally getting a haircut.
Yeah, I've been busy. You got me working on all my days off, so yeah.
You made me come here to film today.
Well, my boy Vic at Heros Barbershop. Say what's up, Vic.
Hey, what's up, guys? I heard so many rumors, people saying, where is he going for a haircut? Well, this is it, man.
When did you realize you enjoyed cooking for people?
I always liked being in the kitchen. Father was always in the restaurant business. I always preferred the action of the kitchen. So when I was teens to 20s, I liked the action. When I got a little older, I started loving the art of it more. Keeps the mind and the body challenged. So, yeah.
If you weren't running a restaurant, what do you think you'd be doing?
That's a great question.
I don't think I'd be working at a desk. Honestly, man, you're gonna laugh here. Like, there's always the dream job, you know. Like acting's been I've been doing a bit of acting lately. That's been fun. But lately, man, I've been watching a lot of plumbing videos. You're laughing, eh? I'm like, the algorithm's got me on plumbing videos, man. I'm like, I'm obsessed. I'm like, these guys can like do really clean work, or they can do really sloppy work, you know. So like, I kind of like the. I think I might have been a plumber.
Have you ever had a complete meltdown in the kitchen?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I've had a couple. One or two in over 25 years. With my meltdowns have been more like a client that pushed me too far. I just decide I don't give an F and I'm gonna let him have it. I'll try to give you the quick version of the story. This is during COVID. We're doing only takeout, and I was really like obsessed with like trying to pack the orders as last minute as possible so that the client's food would be as fresh as possible when we got to the house. And the dining rooms have reopened at this point, so I got a full restaurant. Guy walks in with a takeout order for like 10, 12 people, 10, 12 individual pastas and stuff like that. And pastas, if they sit around, they're gonna get like, pardon my French, but terrible, you know, like. So I had all the sauces ready. I'm waiting for the guy to show up, and as soon as he walks in, I'm gonna start packing his order. This guy walks in, full restaurant. I'm already packing his order as soon as he walked in. Like the hostess gave me the thumbs up, and the guy starts riding the hostess, completely yelling at him like my food was supposed to be ready. And to boot, the guy was about 25 minutes late. So I had to pack them on time. His food would have been sitting around for half an hour. Instead, he's screaming at my hostess and being like beyond belligerent. It's very rare that I get out of the kitchen to deal with these customers, but I shut my burners off and I went to talk to this guy in front. And as I'm walking to the front, the guy's telling my brother to F off. So at this point, I literally stopped what I was doing. I got up on top of the counter. I screamed to get the entire restaurant's attention. And I basically told the whole restaurant exactly what this guy was doing. Basically, like, this piece of is cussing and screaming at my son because we want to pack his food fresh. I'm here to tell everybody, to the public, to everybody in my restaurant, that I would rather donate this food to charity, put it in the garbage, and let this guy ever eat my food again, and that he needs to get the hell out of my store. Like, literally, like, I announced it to the whole restaurant.
When was the moment you realized Vivaldi could be successful?
Well, we've been around 20 years. I thought I had peaked, and I thought this wasn't like very profitable or very, like, it was tough to run. There was a lot of money juggling, a lot of this, and I came out of COVID a lot stronger. It sounds crazy, but we spent 2 years building a takeout business, and with takeout, I wasn't limited by my seats. I was only limited by my own skill and imagination, so we were actually serving a lot more customers at a lower price per head average, and it was a lot more tense and a lot of different style of working, but I got to introduce the restaurant to a lot more people.
What keeps you up at night, Vivaldi related?
I've had cars drive through my restaurant. I've had power failures where we lost power for a week. I've been robbed 3 times, staffing issues, this and that. The stress can be so huge sometimes. I'm sure there isn't a restaurant owner out there that hasn't turned around and said, man, let me get rid of this place now. I wish I could sell it right now. I've had it, I'm fed up, because the stress can pile. My wife knows when I'm stressed, let's put it that way. If she sees me sleeping on the couch in front of the TV, that's because I got something on my mind and I won't be able to sleep in bed. I'll be like tossing and turning, or because my brain's thinking about what I got coming the next day.
What's one thing about Vivaldi you're proud about that other people wouldn't necessarily notice?
We run a tight ship, man. You know, like, I'm proud that we're very consistent and we're consistent across the board. We're consistent with the food, we're consistent with the service. I'm also consistent with the way I treat people, the way I deal with suppliers, the way I pay my bills, and being on top of the business aspect of it is just as important as being on top of the cooking and the service. You know, as a lot of young restaurant people learn, or a lot of young chefs open their first restaurants, sometimes they can have great food, but they don't know the business aspect of it, and they're bankrupt before they even get their feet off the ground. You know, so
if you can give your 20-year-old self advice, what would it be?
Save more money. You know, save more money, and take more chances, and also trust my gut a bit more.
Now that you have a little bit of internet fame, has it changed you at all?
If anything, it's just upping my game. It's forcing me to like relook at my food, relook at my kitchen, experiment with different recipes. There's a little bit of like notoriety that's coming with it now. I get stopped a lot in the streets, and I get asked for a lot of pictures. Got people visiting the restaurant from all over the world. It's making me focus even more. Reigniting some stuff. How about that? Yeah.
How often do you think of content creation?
Time. You draw inspiration from everything. When I walk the streets, when I read menus, when I watch TV, everything's an idea. The idea is to try something once, and we're not forcing it, right? We try something once. If we get a good reaction, we keep doing it. What is it you tell me all the time? We're not going to do anything different. We're not going to chase likes. We're not going to chase subscribers. We're just going to do our thing.
I do say that.
If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, well, you still have a successful social media agency, and I still have a successful restaurant. So, anything else is just a bonus. But
When you walk into a restaurant, what's an instant red flag you notice?
you'd be tempted to say, dirty bathrooms or burnt lights everywhere, or just like overall like neglect. But honestly, nah, not for me. You know what I think the biggest red flag is? When you walk in and everyone just looks miserable. Like if you walk into a restaurant and the food isn't good, you could tell by the way, just by looking at the waiters, because they get blasted all the time. I'm a cook, right? But I gotta take the waiter side on this one. They're the first line of defense dealing with like major complaints, and I'm a chef owner, but a lot of cooks don't want to. They give the waiters advice on how to handle things, but they don't really give them the right advice, because they're like, just tell them that's the way it's supposed to be. Well, no, the waiter can't just tell the customer that's the way it's supposed to be. Can you maybe offer me an explanation as to why you did it that way instead of just being stubborn? Like if the cooks had to deal with the customers directly, I think it'd be a different story. How about that? Yeah.
What's your go-to midnight snack?
Definitely more salt than sweet. So if it's gonna be like junk food, chips, but generally I'm more like I'd rather have like a sandwich or cheese and crackers kind of a snack guy.
What's in your nose? I just went to the bathroom. What happened?
Yeah, it's popsicle sticks with wax on, because Vic's about to rip my nose and ear hairs out, so I look pretty for you guys on the internet.
So what's the future for Steve of Vivaldi?
Can't believe you asked me this question with popsicle sticks in my nose. We're always trying to poke and prod a little bit. This is ridiculous with the sticks. Okay.
This is a serious question.
A serious question with popsicle sticks in my nose. Do they want to meet new people? Do they want to meet new chefs? Do you want to see me do collabs with other restaurants? Do you want to see barbershop confessions? I don't know. Have limited time, and we're gonna try different stuff, But I'm just like, we're always gonna stick to food as the main thing, right? I wonder if people want to see, let's say new characters unlocked, or have discussions with other chefs or business owners, if they're interested in that, or if they just want me, if they just want me to shut up and cook for the most part, So
Let's get these sticks out of your nose.
Come up with it.
Yeah.
Out.
Yeah.
Three.
You did
One,
it one
two,
time.
three.
God. For all the years I've been going to barbers and hairstylists, Victor was the first one who actually washes my hair after the cut, which I really appreciate, because if I got to go back to work or whatnot, I don't have like loose pieces of hair flying around. He'll wet the hair for the cut, but then he'll wash me after the fact, which I find like super intelligent, because
Every detail counts.
especially if you're coming in the afternoon, you got to go back to work after, and I can't have bits of hair flying around when I'm cooking, right? So,
Any last words for anyone trying to get into the restaurant business?
besides the obvious of working hard and trying to put out a good product, and I think it's very important to do value for dollar. And what I mean by value for dollar is not a price thing. It's not whether you're charging $10 or $100 a plate. It's whether or not the customer thinks they're getting value for their money. I've always thought that was important. One thing that's been lost in business nowadays is common decency. So I've prided myself, and if you talk to any one of my suppliers, any one of my purveyors, I don't think anyone's gonna ever say a bad word about me, because I'm always pleased, I'm always thank you. I don't yell, I don't scream. Even they run into problems sometimes. I try to help them find solutions. Treat your staff well, treat your customers well, try to be a good person. I think that part of the business has been lost a bit, So overall, when you conduct yourself in business, try to be an honest person. It might sound crazy, and it might even sound weak. Some people say that I believe in karma, right? So if I screw someone for $5, it's gonna cost me $5,000. And someone might say that's a weak attitude in business, but it helps me sleep at night. So my belief, if you're going to conduct business like a gentlewoman, treat people well, and normally that'll come back in spades. Try to do a little charity too.
How's the cut? Let's check it out.
I ain't going to answer that. Let the internet answer that. Vic at Heros make me look better or worse?
That looks amazing. Nice fade in the back of the neck, clean,
Yeah.
professional.
I think Ms. Vivaldi will be happy. But
You guys know now where Steve comes for his haircuts.
We should go film some more content, bro. I look good before I get hair again by next week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, your hair looks pretty bad right now.
Here's what we're gonna do. You're commenting on my hair. The whole internet wants to know what you look like, Mr. Shagamuffin there. All right. So I think, like, Vic, if I hit 1 million subscribers, will you cut this guy's hair?
Absolutely, man.
On
With
camera?
a pleasure.
Can I film it?
I'll chop his hair and his beard. Free of charge.
I'll pay for
Absolutely.
Vivaldi,